In a world full of secrets, humans don't often want others to know what they are saying. This is particularly true when one is trying to hide something such as a mission during wartime. Today we have computers to encrypt and code in secrets to prevent others from learning our secrets, but in the past this wasn't so. Instead, humans had to rely on secret languages to be able to communicate information that they didn't want others to know. These languages all had their own form of vocabulary and structure. Usually they are a spin-off of a well-known language that the speaker is located in. There have been many secret languages throughout time that have been beneficial to different groups and harmful to others, one of which is called the Thieves' Cant. Thieves' Cant is said to have originated around 1530. Used primarily by thieves and beggars of England, it is believed that the Thieves' Cant was developed from Romani, which is a language that was spoken by the Romani people living in England. These people used Romani in day-to-day language but spoke in the Thieves' Cant for criminal activities. Thieves' Cant can be separated into two groups. Simple Thieves' Cant is no more than just a slang of English. However, Advanced Thieves' Cant is actually almost an entire new language. This form of Thieves' Cant was a form that was used to hide information. The common form of Thieves' Cant was simple to learn, unlike that of the more advanced version. It required time, practice, and a teacher to even begin learning it. The earliest known written record of the Thieves' Cant is in the work The Highways to the Spital Fields by Robert Copeland in 1536. Ever since its conception, Thieves' Cant has played a major part in rogue literature, especially during the Elizabethan period in England. It was heavily used in pamphlets and lower-class theater at the time. The simple form of Thieves' Cant just simply replaces English words with other words that sound like gibberish to the untrained ear. However, in some cases, these words may just be common synonyms. Examples include calling beer bows, or a man cove, or even calling a shoplifter a bob. Vowels in Cant are intended to sound the same way as they do in regular English words. However, if two vowels are next to each other, each vowel has their own separate sound instead of being combined. There are also no article words such as a, an, and the. All Cant nouns are given in the singular form, and plural forms of those nouns are produced by simply doubling the word. Word order is extremely rigid in Cant, since only by its position in a sentence can a function or relationship of a word be determined. The basic form of a verb in Cant ends in the letter N. Today, Thieves' Cant is usually used by those who play fantasy role-playing games and is no longer used in the real world. That being said, in 2009 there was a case in which a prisoner in England was overheard speaking in Cant. Now we move from London to Buenos Aires. Originating around the mid-19th century was the secret language of Lunfardo. It is mainly used by lower-class individuals. Much of the language was developed in prisons as a way for inmates to communicate without the guards knowing what they are saying. This secret language has a mix of Italian in it, such as the word ciao, which means goodbye. It also has some African influence as well. The main difference between Lunfardo and the normal Spanish of the region is the word choice. Both have the same sentence flow, but Lunfardo offers up a different set of words. Lunfardo is still in use today. It has been widely adopted in Buenos Aires by other classes as well. While in the past it was used to secretly communicate between prisoners, it is now used as slang in the area and is actually very common. It is even common for it to be heard in the lyrics of the popular music form called tango. As I stated earlier, the main difference between Lunfardo and Spanish is the word choice. Here are some examples. These examples are just a few of the differences between Spanish and Lunfardo. In fact, there are over 5,000 words that are different between Lunfardo and Spanish. There has been a debate whether or not new terms can be added to Lunfardo. Some critics argue that Lunfardo must maintain its connection to the past, and not the modern-day slang that it has become. Lunfardo, which was once its own secret language of the lower class, has now been infiltrated and adopted by the rest of the public in Buenos Aires. Finally, we travel to Eastern Europe. Klezmerlachen, which when translated is musician's tongue, is an extinct derivative of the Yiddish language. It was used by traveling Jewish musicians known as klezmers in Eastern Europe prior to the 20th century. It combined Yiddish with loanwords from many other European languages. This borrowed vocabulary was often substituted for key Yiddish words using rhyme or some other form of association. The music of the klezmers began developing around the 15th century. Klezmerlachen could be used during and after performances, whether among Gentiles or Yiddish-speaking Jews, without being understood. This allowed them to discuss business, plan, or even mock others without getting into trouble. However, Klezmerlachen died off in the 20th century due to the Holocaust. Klezmerlachen was comprised of some 600 words. These words mainly consisted of musical terms. The most detailed glossary of Klezmerlachen of over 600 words can be found in the Book of Klezmer. the history, the music, the folklore from the 14th century to the 21st. Today the language of Klezmer-Loshon is practically dead, but the music still continues to be played. Kent, Lunfardo, and Klezmer-Loshon are three examples of historical secret languages. However, there are many others out there, including those that may have yet to be discovered. These languages were solely created to create a sense of secrecy among their speakers. While most of the languages no longer have a practical use today, they still have helped shape history.